Hello everyone. I am coming on. It is For Real Fridays. And I'm about to talk about something very close to my heart today. Very, very close to my heart. This is a real life. Oh, look, I'm trying to type on this thing and hold it on my steering wheel, guys. Hey guys. This is real life. I'm going to pin my topic in a comment. Let me just do this and hold it so it doesn't go flying everywhere. Hold on one second, guys. Hey, as you're coming on. Hey, Jazzy Jeff. Hello, it's Paris. That's the name. I'm putting up the name. Can I pin it? How do I pin it, guys? Can I pin my own comment? I'm trying to see how. I've seen that done before, but I don't know how to do it. All right, so today's topic's called Real Life. I was triggered. Sexual trauma, molestation. So for anybody, that's my fair warning. This conversation might be triggering for some of you. If so, you may not want to tune in as I'm talking about this today, because I was triggered. So, hey honey, that's why I'm fab. Hi sweetheart. Hi JC. Hi everybody as you're coming on. So today's topic is real life. I was triggered. Sexual trauma, molestation, rape. So over last week when I was on vacation in Mexico, Carrie and I, of course, had a wonderful time, an incredible time. And we take our prime, our fire stick and firebox, our fire cube everywhere when we travel. So we take that with us everywhere we go. So we're able to watch television, movies, wherever we're at. So one night, I don't know what day it was when we were on vacation, but he turned on a movie. And we didn't know what the movie was about. And it ended up being called a Lifetime movie, didn't know that at the time, called Girl in the Basement. Okay, for any of you guys, I'm sorry, trying to do a video in my car. It's not sitting right. Any of you who have not heard of this movie called Girl in the Basement, it is based on a true story, true events. It is a daughter whose father imprisons her in the basement of their house. Everyone thinks she ran away when she was 18 years old. He imprisoned her in the basement of the house and raped her. Where I left off in the movie, she'd had a baby by her father in the basement of the house. No one knew she was down there. So, incest, rape, all kinds of themes in this movie. So we're on vacation. I'm watching this movie and I'm getting triggered. Okay, guys, I listen. Carrie feels me, of course. He's an empath. He's a healer too. He feels me. He's like, we got to turn this off. He's like, Rebecca, it's just a movie. It's just a movie. It's just a movie. I'm like, no, it's not just a movie. The movie's called Girl in the Basement. And like I'm saying, the movie, it centers around a girl's father imprisoning her in the basement, having sex with her, raping her, impregnating her for 20 years. 20 years. Her biological father imprisoned her in the basement for 20 years and literally impregnates her. I turned it off after the first pregnancy. I was done because I was getting way too upset. So literally Carrie turns it off because I'm getting I mean, I'm getting more and more upset. So let me say this just here in the beginning of this conversation. I've never been raped. I've never been molested. Okay. But as a spiritual healer, as a healer, over the last decade plus of working as a life coach and a healer, I have attracted and drawn hurting women to me, naturally attracted hurting women. 98% of the thousands of women that have been drawn to my courses, working with me as clients, my healing classes, you name it, have been raped or molested, or same thing, incest. And as an empath, guys, when I was watching this movie, I began to get more and more upset because it was just too real. Too real. Like, guys, I need you to hear me. The stories I've heard again and again, thousands of women, over the years, I just get used to hearing the stories. I'm talking about girls who have been raped when they were 5 years old. I'm talking about girls who were sodomized when they were 9 years old by the neighbor. I'm talking about, guys, I have so many stories of real women that I know. And I was so triggered. So let me explain the events of that week, right? I'm so freaking triggered. I had to make myself calm down on vacation because I felt I just started getting more and more upset. And Carrie has to talk me off the ledge, right? Because it's whew, it was too much. It was too real. And like I'm saying, guys, because I'm an empath and because of who I've worked with over the years, it's just too much. And so my compassion, my nature, my heart for people. And when one of the things that's hard in our current culture is that everyone is so quick to bash everybody. Bash. And the truth is, guys, is that people are hurting. People are hurting really bad. Let me tell you some things I know from working with coaching clients over the years. One of the things I know for a fact is that probably 50% of the women who are going to watch this video have been raped or molested or date raped or molested or raped by an in-law, a family member, their own father, a stepfather. Probably 50% of the women who are going to see this video, and even small percentage of men who will see this video, have been sexually molested or raped. All of the above. That's what the statistics tell us. Only 1 in 5 gets reported. The conviction rate is even lower than that. Can I tell you something I've learned over the years, though? And I'm going to talk to my ladies because you're the majority of the victims and survivors of this. Do you know that a lot of you have repressed sexual trauma? That you have repressed it. It's not until you start peeling back some layers, right? Peeling back some layers. You go find the statistics for yourself. Anybody on here that is going to question anything I've got to say today, go look at the statistics for yourself. Only 1 in 5 gets reported. It is estimated it's as high as 1 in 2 women have been molested or raped. 1 in 2, 50%. That's what's projected based on what gets reported. The sex trafficking industry is a $150 billion industry. Sex trafficking is a $150 billion industry. I need you guys to understand that literally the people paying for sex, paying the sex slaves, These are just the people who can afford it. There's a whole other demographic of perpetrators who just take it, who are molesting children, that are, in other words, instead of paying for it as part of the $150 billion industry in sex trafficking, they're still part of that same group of people who just molest and rape children and women. 26% of the sex trade are men now. Hello? Fellas, you don't think you can get kidnapped too? Boys? 26% of the victims and slaves are young boys and young men. 26% now. It is a dark, dark world, Tara. Yes, exactly. And over the years, and see, and it's not until you begin to meet people. I've been in a very unique Southern Magnolia. I cannot handle this right now, sweetie. I understand if you cannot. I completely understand. That's why I gave a warning at the beginning of the video. I've been in a very unique position over the years, being a healer and life coach and spiritual healer, to hear the stories, and guys, here's the thing. It's secrets. It's secrets. This is why, if you haven't experienced it, or as a man, if you haven't had a daughter or a niece or a sister or a mother or an aunt or anybody go through this, it seems so far removed from you as a man, as a good man, because it's silence. It's all silent. It's all secrets, guys. Nobody knows about this stuff. I've got clients over the years who were raped by their own brothers, by their uncle. They're still seeing those people at family reunions, afraid to tell, the guilt, the shame. Do you know that the majority of my coaching clients, when we would start doing their healing work, they're coming to me over these current issues, current symptoms, current things that they're trying to figure out. We start doing their healing work. We start peeling back. And it's like, oh yeah, by the way, when I was 14, I was raped by my cousin. Oh yeah, by the way, when I was 8, I was sodomized by 3 boys, by 3 men, by my mother's boyfriend, and I never told. And guys, here's the thing. For all the people who are going to watch this video, if you have sexual trauma and you have never done any work to go back and heal the sexual trauma. See, this is the other thing I've observed over the years as a coach, guys. Do you know that most people who have been through sexual trauma do not identify the sexual trauma as the root issue of the other problems that they're experiencing? I need you to hear me. I need someone to hear me. Right now, if you have had sexual trauma and it's not something you've ever worked on, worked through, dealt with, or got help, it is an underlying core issue of other problems that you're so concerned with. And you've told yourself, I've dealt with it, I'm okay. Real talk, Bianca, I need your help. Sweetheart, listen, that's why I'm doing this video. I'm calling out to all the hurting women and men who have gone through sexual trauma, because I recognize it as a core root issue of major issues that you're going through right now in your life. I just had someone reach out to me a couple months ago, booked a consultation for a business strategy, but it was all about love and relationships. She was in law school. She'd been raped 3 years ago, going to a study meeting. Going to study. He raped her in law school. A young man that's about to be a lawyer raped her on not even a steady date, on a steady meetup, raped her. This is happening every day. Bianca says, I'm in a relationship and I'm going through some things. Yep. Hi, sweetheart. Hi, Island Girl. Yes, we will re-traumatize ourselves in relationships. Guys, and the one thing I'm saying I'm observing with clients is like, I'm sitting there like, so you have never made the connection with your trust issues, commitment issues, self-esteem issues, confidence issues, relationship issues, communication issues. You've never linked this back to the trauma. Think about it. I need someone to think about it. Lena says, I'm in therapy for it now, going through my healing. And guys, while I was in Mexico, I literally, God just started talking to me. And Miss Angela J, this comes from the old ethnic behavior in our culture. It's every culture. It's not black, Latino. It's not white. It is every single culture, every single race, every single color, every single nationality. It is everywhere. Sean says, you are absolutely right. Or Madeline, you're absolutely right. I have been raped in a party 7 months ago and don't realize that it really affects me. Sweetheart, I'm so sorry. Shan says, I'm in therapy and opening has really allowed me to be honest with God and grow up. Yep. Island girly. Yep. Thank you, sweetheart. Listen, so my heart, right? My heart for this stuff. Guys, when it comes to women who have been victimized and children, you want to see me become so freaking protective, so defensive. And guys, here's the thing. God knows who we are. God brings people to me. God attracts people to me because he knows. He knows what I'm going to do. He knows I'm going to help him heal. He knows I'm going to protect. He knows I'm going to step in. I've written about incest and abuse in my new Nice for What book. Sexual trauma, rape. Deja says, I'm in therapy for this now. Revisiting these events for a bit is so heavy. I haven't even detailed most of my experiences. Deja, what I've learned from my coaching clients is that it's so hard because going back into these memories and revisiting what happening is like living it over again. And that's why healing hurts so much. Because it's just like going back and going through it with everything within your mind is trying to deny it, act like it never happened, which is what keeps us stuck because we're not going back to heal it. We're not going back to process it and change the narrative and reclaim our soul, reclaim our heart, reclaim our mind. And then like things that have happened to like little girls. Guys, the stuff is just too much. It's too much. Grown women are being raped, but there's little girls. Things, just the molestation and rape that is happening to little girls. There's like no chance, right? It's like destroying people's lives before they even have a chance, That's why I came in my car to do this video. My house is full of people. I knew I couldn't do this video with a house full of people. Like, guys, the stuff I've heard, the stuff I've helped women to heal from, we're not talking about just grown-ups. It's hard enough as a grown woman. Grown women, right? But little girls, and so many of you, that trust has been violated by people that you trusted, by parents, by neighbors, by uncles, cousins. You know, that trust has been violated. And when I responded the way I did to that Kevin Samuels video that went viral, where it was so cold to that young lady, of course I start crying, right? Why do I start crying? Because you can freaking feel her pain. Her pain was just like, she's sitting there and people are hurting. The last thing they need is to be beat up on more. Yes, are they misled? Yes, are they lost? Yes, are they delusional? Yes, are they, losing it? Yes. I'm not saying that's not true. I reached out to the girl in that video. I found her. It wasn't hard. Reached out to her. She and I chatted with each other. Because that's my heart, right? Guys, we now live in a world. Do you know the suicide rate has more than doubled with young girls and preteens and girls in their early 20s? Doubled. Girls are taking their own life. Why? Because it feels hopeless. Deja, my sexual trauma started at 8. I made so many bad decisions in my teens and 20s because of the shame, guilt and shame. And it's a vicious cycle. And secrets. It's the silence that is killing. It's the silence that is destroying self-esteem. It's the silence, guys, that is literally so toxic because you can't heal what you don't talk about. You can't heal what you deny. You can't heal what you won't face. Do you understand that so many of these trolls and toxic men that you see across social media that are bashing women and beating up on women and talking down to women are actually perpetrators? The numbers say, guys, that a lot of these men that you're paying attention to, a lot of these men that you get triggered by in the comments, a lot of these men that are so nasty and toxic are the very men that are raping and molesting and taking advantage of women because they don't love women. They hate women. Is it all of them? No. But the numbers say, guys, that a very high percentage of the men that are sitting on social media that you're trying to listen to or you're paying attention to in the comments are the very men, and you just don't know who you're allowing to influence you. You don't even know that you're sitting here caring what some stupid man thinks or how some stupid man feels. And he's the very one out here taking advantage of girls. It's happened going on for thousands of years. Stefania, intrinsically Stefania. It's part of our culture, universally, in every single country. Misogyny, sexual trauma, rape culture is a part of every single culture on earth. It goes back to not valuing women, treating women as if they're property. It does. I feel shame of it all, everything that happened to me. I love you, baby. Guys, I ain't even been raped. I ain't even been molested. But I can sit here and tell you that what God has given me to do, I had to literally email my lawyers from Mexico, because the idea that God gave me is so powerful to start to turn things around, that I know that legally I'll be putting myself, with a bullseye on me for even doing the project that God's dropped in my spirit, because it doesn't even exist. And the families try to keep it as a secret, thinking it'll protect the family. And I love you too. I love you, baby. They do. They try to keep it a secret. And then that's worse, because the very thing that victims are afraid to, the reason they're afraid to tell is because they're afraid of the fallout. You're afraid of splitting the family. You're afraid of people not believing you. You're afraid of being ostracized. You're afraid of being called a slut or a whore. It's your fault, and then the very things that you're so afraid of is the very thing that happens when you tell. People you love the most will choose to not believe you or turn on you, or now you're isolated from everybody, or they even defend the perpetrator, come up with a million different excuses and reasons, and the bottom line, and this is something I want to say to victims, I'm coming up with a project where you're gonna be able to tell it. But the problem for why this keeps getting perpetuated is because we don't tell. Lena says, my mom didn't believe me, so I didn't tell anyone else. I was a damn kid. And that's what happens, Lena. The worst part was hearing that it was my fault. I started believing it, thinking of what I could have done different. Yep. I glam. Yep. And what I've learned from these circumstances is that, guys, this is what's really hard. I want you to stop and think about your perpetrator. And I want you to stop and think about all the women who have never told, just like you, who never said anything, because it's a secret, because of the guilt, because of the shame. And then stop and think about how many more girls and women that perpetrator went on to victimize after you. My fear was having it happening again, so then making myself believe that I just have sex with them, they won't have to take it from me. Sweetie, I've heard that same story again and again and again. Pesh Peculiar, it hasn't even been 2 weeks since it happened to me. I feel so alone and I'm hurting. Pesh, iGlam. Make sure you guys email me. Make sure you guys are in the healing class that's coming up. Okay? Make sure you email me. You're not the only one, Lena. I'm telling you, you guys. I've dealt with it for years and years and years and years and years. I would do healing classes in Atlanta. 98% of the women in healing class, every single class, the same stories. Coaching certification. When we go through coaching certification and the coaches go through their healing modules and we go into healing, group healing class, virtual healing class for the coaches, 90% of the life coaches coming through certification of the women have been molested or raped. And when we're in the coaching healing classes and when I've done the healing classes publicly, everyone is like, guys, you're all the women are just sitting there like, is this real? inside the coaching certification, inside their healing classes, the coaches are just sitting there like, I did not know that this was so freaking prevalent. Because you feel so alone and so isolated, and nobody's talking about it. Nobody's talking about it. I'm talking minimum 90%, Lena. 98% in most of my public healing classes, 90% of my life coaches. Because you don't realize it, but the majority of people struggling with issues have deep-rooted trauma and abuse. I was just scared for my cousin and the other girls he was around. I just tried to protect them because I know how much it hurt. That's the same story I've seen again and again and again. That the girl being abused keeps letting that go on because she's afraid that he's going to turn and start doing it to her little sisters or doing it to her little cousins. Glam, you said. I found out I wasn't the only one because when I went to school, some people found out, but one girl told me that it happened to her too. I felt bad for her, but another part of me was angry at her. Makeup by Pretty Alexis. I was never going to say anything until he died. Glam, that she didn't come forward. She could have saved me. And Glam, this is where I'm at. And this is what God's dropped into my spirit, into my heart with this project that he's given me. It's to remove the secrecy, remove the anonymity of these perpetrators, to stop protecting them. Because this is what I said to Carrie, you know, of course, like guys on Mexico, I was just triggered. And that night at dinner, I'm just talking about it. And, you know, Carrie couldn't even eat his dinner because, you know, he was getting so upset because good men, this is just so hard for them to fathom. You know, good men, this is so foreign to their nature and to how, you know, they love their daughters, they love their nieces, they love, you know, the women in their lives. This is so far removed from what they can even, you know, perceive and conceive. It's just so difficult. And I said at dinner, I said, the problem is the secrecy. It's the silence. That's the catch. That's what we've got to cure, is the silence. They've got to be outed. And so then the next day, Carrie turns on the TV, he turns on YouTube, and we watch, he turns on a TED Talk from Lovey. From, you know, Lovey, guys, that she wrote the book, I'm Judging You. She did a TED Talk, and it was talking about speaking truth to power and being fearless and being that first domino, being that person who's going to push, that has the boldness and the courage to stand up, speak truth to power, challenge the status quo. And as she was talking, I just was like, this is me, right? This is me. This is who I am. And so I went to bed, and 3:30 in the morning, guys, I woke up and God just dropped this idea into my spirit. And it is a big project, but it starts to bring a solution to the secrecy part of this, the silence, while still protecting you guys, protecting the victims, but no longer keeping the silence for the perpetrators, right? Outing them so we can protect our girls, so that we can protect our children, so that we can protect going forward, right? And I'm going to share as soon as I get it, you know, put together. I'm consulting with my lawyers. I'm getting everything put together, and I'm going to do it. Somebody says, what's the best way to start bringing the truth into the light, especially with family members? It's been a secret since we were kids. Tricky TNT, I'll say this. Most women I know still have not told their secrets. The only women I know who have come out and really said anything are the coaches that I've trained. They've moved forward with boldness to write books. That's right, Makeup by Pretty Alexis. Being the first person to stand up is not easy. It is so hard. To be honest, the fallout in families is like a bomb. It's like a bomb being dropped. There's just no way around it. People are in denial. People will reject it. People don't want to hear it. Crafted birth. This is spirit. Yeah. Because like I say, this project that God dropped in the idea that God has given me. See, intrinsically, Stefania says, I'm writing a book now and I'm a coach. This is so true. Leaders. It's only the leaders. It's only the coaches. Excuse me, guys. I'm sorry. That have that are actually outing it and talking about it. And that, is because it's coming from a leadership perspective. It's them leading. If you have gone through sexual trauma, you need to make sure you're in healing class. Make sure you're in the Works Masterclass, guys. You need to be in there to start doing this work. I would say, to answer your question, you were chosen and you got this, Rebecca. Thank you, Crafted Bird. Listen, I'm over here like, whew, this is a lot, okay? It's a lot, guys. The idea is huge. It's big, and I have never seen, no one else has done this. No one else has done this. And it's like, okay, I'm going to have to get some really, really powerful lawyers to back me up. Exposing the perpetrators, Enuma. Yes. What's the best way to start bringing the truth into light? Tricky TNT, the first step is to do your own work. I would not even try to say anything until you first start dealing with it for yourself. It's so important to focus on you first, right? You first. And then I think I'll get this project done. And you can out your perpetrator with my project, right? Crafted Bird, thank you, babe. Spirit protects your obedience. Listen, guys. I'm over here like, okay, we're gonna do this, God, and whoo-wee, right? Truth to power. We have to challenge the status quo. We have to stop being silent because the perpetrators will continue to violate girls and women. Guys, and that's the part right there. That's the part right there. I've gone through enough experiences in my professional coaching career and personally to understand that the legal system around all of this doesn't work. It doesn't work. It is not protecting women. It's not protecting girls. It is not a solution. We cannot keep depending on the law. We cannot keep depending on men, right? We cannot keep depending on the current status quo to correct this. We have movements like Me Too. We have movements. I know, Madeline, this subject is so triggering for me. Baby, I know. Make sure you're in healing class, Madeline. Okay? Make sure you are in healing class. We cannot depend on our systems currently that are in place, and we cannot depend on men to correct this and to protect our girls. We cannot. We are going to have to step up. We are going to have to step up. And good, Madeline. Good. Still take the healing class, Madeline. Our healing, I've done this work for years and years. The healing modules inside a healing class are the same exact healing modules I've used for years with my one-on-one clients and the women I've helped to reclaim their lives after sexual trauma. And they really, really work in ways that are very different than therapy because it's spiritual. So the healing class, definitely, you guys, make sure you're in there. If you know, the gals right here on this live that I've mentioned, make sure that you email me, okay? When is class? It's enrollment opens Monday. We're going to start about the first week of June. We'll start about the first week of June. So make sure you get enrolled. Oh, enrollment's going to open Monday. Anyway, guys, like I said, we need more than therapy. We need spiritual healing too. That's the feedback I've gotten from my coaching clients over the years about because I've had clients that were in therapy for years and would come through my healing course with me one-on-one, and they're like, this, you know, it completely changes their life and turns things around. And they're like, this is totally different than therapy. You know, it's like bringing spiritual principles into the healing process is, you know, a different approach to healing. I'll send prayer energy to you for protection. Thank you, Crafted Bird. Thank you, sweetheart. We about to rise up, y'all. Listen, we are about to rise up. We are about to stand in position and start standing in the gap. And that takes power. That takes boldness. It takes courage, guys. But it's time. It's time. Vegan foodie, let me get on IG. Are you familiar with Dr. Andrea Pennington? Y'all should collaborate. I'm not familiar with her. It's already happening. Yep. It is time. And it's this, like I say, this project, this idea that God has given me is just so powerful and so mind-blowing. I'm sitting there like, can we do this? Like, I think we can do this. And I think I'm the right person for it because I will do it. But it's time to out them. You're welcome, sweetheart. Wearing her crown. I can't wait to get started. Thankful for your upcoming healing class. Yeah, those of you who have not done any healing work around the sexual trauma, I do not suggest you try to approach your family or out these secrets because you're already hurting and you're already damaged from everything you've been through. Good, sweetheart. Thank you, iGlam. I look forward to hearing an email from you. It's live@RebeccaLynPope.com. What you've already been through, you're just going to get hurt more when you go try to confront or tell, and you're not ready for that. You're not ready for the attacks. You're not ready to defend it. You're not ready to go on the offense. You're just not ready for everything that's going to come at you. I do not suggest you do that without going through a lot of healing work first, guys, so that you build yourself up and you are mentally, emotionally, spiritually ready to take on that fight. Because it's just like adding insult to injury. Madeline says, I missed the part when you were talking about the need for spiritual healing. Can you repeat that? Spiritual coaching and spiritual healing, hi biz lawyer, is very different than therapy. So I've had clients over the years that came to me and they've been in therapy for years, but they do spiritual healing, spiritual coaching for healing work. And that gets totally different results and faster results than therapy because it is so different. And the approach to healing is so different because it's spiritual coaching, not therapy. And we just deal with stuff. I mean, guys, that's what you'll learn about me as a coach. I don't pussyfoot around things. We're not gonna tiptoe around it, take 6 months before we even start dealing with the core root issues of stuff. We're gonna go deal with it. Let's put on our big girl panties and let's go deal with the stuff that's really holding you back in life. Because until you start dealing with that, you can't start to turn your life around. Because it's like I say all the time, like at a certain point, we got to get tired of crying. We got to get tired of hurting. We have to be able to bring closure to certain seasons of our life. And what I say is, let's just face it. Let's face it and deal with it and bring acceptance and peace to a certain thing. Because the thing that holds people back from healing is not accepting it. The part of your brain that's constantly trying to figure it out. Yes, I'm very prophetic, Stefania. The part of your brain that's constantly trying to make sense of it, work through it, trying to dissect yourself, analyze it. All of that is part of not having peace and not accepting just the facts of what happened. It is what it is. And we have to be able to process, and then we have to be able to accept it and make peace with it so we can let it go. So we can let it go. So we can finally say, yes, that happened. Yes, I went through that. Yes, he did that to me. Yes, she did that to me. Yes. You know what? But I didn't die. My life's not over. I can take control of my life from right here, and I get to decide where I'm going. I get to decide the direction of my life. I get to decide that I'm going to live whole and healed. You don't win. I say this to my clients all the time. You have to make up your mind that the people who have done these evil things to you, the people who have stolen these parts of your life, your childhood, they don't get to win. You have to make up your mind that I am going to conquer this. I am going to overcome this. I'm not going to be a victim to this anymore. I am going to become victorious. I'm going to be a survivor. I'm going to have power over this. Power over this. I am not my experiences. I am not a victim. This happened to me. It's not who I am. And when things have happened to you, especially as a young girl, it is so hard to separate your experiences from your identity. Spiritual coaching, we've got to dissect that. We've got to pull those two things apart. Stefani says that's why you feel really like you relate to me, right? My testimony helps me to help others. Yes, Crafted Bird, we got to be able to tell it. We got to be able to speak it. We got to be able to tell people, yes, this happened to me when I was 8. Yes, this happened to me when I was 14. Yes, this happened to me when I was 25. But baby, right? Baby, that does not mean life is over. That doesn't mean you don't get up and fight for your life, that you don't get up and make up your mind that there is worth to you. Your voice matters. Your life matters. Purpose over your life, your anointing, your calling, the deeper meaning and fulfillment and purpose and vision for your life is greater than anything that you've been through. And the enemy loves to use all these experiences. Loves to use all this stuff to condemn and guilt and shame you into quiet, to silence you. Silence you. So you won't speak out, so you won't make a difference. Let me tell you something. If you can just change one life, if you can affect change, if you can stand in the gap for one person, for just one person, it ain't about millions all the time, guys. It's one person. If you're standing in position where you're supposed to be so that God can trust you to stand in the gap. I've been doing it for years. That's why I know what I'm talking about. God knows he can trust me. God knows he can bring the hurting to me, that he can bring, right? Those who need sanctuary, those who need help, those who have no hope left. He trusts me. He knows. Rebecca's going to do what I've called her to do. Rebecca's going to stand in the gap. Rebecca is going to do exactly who I created her. She's going to be exactly who I created her to be. A warrior. A warrior. Like I say, you don't want to see me. You don't want to see me pressing. If you press me, it comes between me and a child or a woman who's hurting, you're going to see another side. You're going to see another side. I will fight. And I will stand my ground. I don't care. I will prosecute to the letter of the law. I will keep telling it until everybody is tired of me telling it. I will speak truth to power till everybody get tired of me talking about it. I don't care. You can hate me. You can disown me. You cannot like me. I don't care. I'm not here for you. I'm here to help the hurting. I'm here for the hopeless, the helpless, the people who need to understand who they really are, the people who need God to say to them, you're okay. You are loved. It's gonna be okay. Come through, right? Yes, Crystal, come through for us. Listen, somebody's got to be the voice of reason. Somebody's got to be the voice that says, baby, it's not over. Don't take your own life. Don't try to check out of here because you're so hopeless and helpless and you're hurting so much. Don't you dare. God has greater for you. There is hope. There is help. Look, y'all, make me cry again. That's why I'm getting ready to start the Rebecca Lynn Pope Show, where I'm going to come on and coach live. People going through situations live. And I'm going to coach them. Why? Because you guys need to see what real coaching looks like. Because you guys need to see what giving hope and solutions sounds like. Instead of just highlighting a problem and capitalizing off people's pain. We need to see what real help, real coaching looks like. Listen, y'all. God didn't come to break nobody down and destroy and divide nobody. God did not come. God brings life. God brings love. Some of the very things that y'all tune into is the enemy. Posing and posturing. Saying just enough little truths to get you to tune in, to get you to suck you in, so you get listening to a bunch of garbage because it has just a sprinkle of truth on it, just a sprinkle to suck you in to a foul, evil spirit that is sucking the life out of people. God brings peace, love, joy. God brings healing. Everybody ain't from God. Everybody's not sent from God. You can't be listening to everybody. Just because it tickles your ears, just because it validates you in where you're at when you're angry or mad or hurting, just because. If it's not bringing solutions, if it's not bringing life, if it's not bringing love, if it's not pointing you to God, it's not of God. If you get done out of a situation, and yes, you can be corrected. Yes, you can feel conflicted. Correction doesn't feel good, but it's a way to bring correction. There's a way to do things in a loving way that people don't feel so freaking discouraged that they're suicidal after talking to you. That they feel so helpless. Do you know how many emails and inbox messages I get? Because they're over here listening to toxic, nasty, miserable, ugly, unhappy people, single all day long, but steady giving love and relationship advice. Ain't in my inbox, in my emails. Desperate, distraught, at their wits' end, hopeless, helpless, 25 years old, feeling like they old and ugly and there's no hope. 30 years old, feeling like because you already have a baby, you over the hill, there ain't no hope for you. Feeling like you 35 because you ain't never been married yet. Feeling like because you 40 and you got money and you're a woman who's worked hard for what you want. There ain't no hope for you for a man. Ain't no hope for you for love. You over the hill. You old. Don't nobody want you. You too independent. You too this. You too that. Thank God we serve a God that loves us. Thank God we serve a God that sees us. Thank God there's a God that knows our hearts. Thank God we ain't got to be perfect to be loved. Thank God. Thank God there's a God that saw me at 38, grieving my mother, recovering my life, things not perfect. When love walked in. Come on, I need somebody to hear me. How is it that women have to try to be so freaking perfect to be deserving of love, but men are supposed to just show up? Come on. It's crazy. You got women out here beating themselves up. Can I tell some of you don't even really want to be married. Some of you have a calling on your life that's so great and bigger than anything that you don't even need to be married. It was Paul who said, I'd rather you not marry. It's actually better for you to not marry. But if you can't, if you cannot, come on, somebody. Wasn't just applying to men. Some of you have a calling on your life that's so huge. And you got to be able to run and run fast and run hard and not be distracted, not be tied down, taking care of husbands and children and houses and chores and homework. But in the meantime, you're trying to squeeze yourself into this little tiny box that says success as a woman in this label. And you got to somehow try to fit that little box. And you're trying to squeeze yourself, squeeze your anointing down, squeeze the calling on your life, squeeze your gifts down into this little box to make yourself fit, to be palatable, and to fit in to your family, your life, your culture, your society, when God's created you for something so big. And you keep fighting it and bucking it, but then you're wondering why this isn't working and why you won't even embrace who God's created you to be and embrace your gifts and embrace everything God keeps pouring into your spirit for you to do on a bigger scale, on the next level, on a bigger platform. You're resisting all that because you're trying to focus on having a man. Some of y'all ain't meant to have a man. Some of y'all, God wants to take your mind off of a man so you can do what you're really called to do. I wasn't focused on men when I met Carrie. Wasn't even thinking about a man when I met Carrie. I was in the middle of my purpose. I was writing books, coaching people, ministering, praying, laying hands on people. I finally surrendered to all my gifts, who God created me to be. I don't know how on earth I thought I was going to get off this earth, not prophesying to people, not laying hands on people, not praying for people, not speaking life and having discernment into someone's life. Why do you think I'm so good at coaching? Why do you think my coaching gets such incredible results in people's lives? Because it's anointed. Because I'm using my gifts, because I'm swimming in my lane. I don't know how on earth I thought I was going to get off earth without using my gifts. I ran and ran and ran from that for so long. And it's only when I surrendered. It's only when I surrendered to who God created me to be, this unique expression called Rebecca, here on earth, that everything else in my life began to fall into place. Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven. Right? Seek ye first. See, some of you got it so twisted. You're focused on all the trappings. You're focused on all the material things. You're focused on the manifestation of the things you want so you can feel validated as being successful. But you got your priorities out of order. Put God first. Put you first. Put your gifts first. Write the book. Start the business. Start saying what God keeps telling you to say. Start doing what God keeps urging and nudging you to do. Then watch things start falling into place in your life. But first it's going to fall apart. Thank you, Stephanie. Anyone with the spiritual eyes can see who you are, Rebecca. Thank you, baby. Right? Everything's going to fall apart first. Because a lot of this stuff you've built is built on quicksand. A lot of this stuff you built is built on ego. That's why it's so hard to manage. That's why it's so hard to hold it together. It's why it's so hard. Because a lot of what you've created is BS. It's not authentic to you. It's not what you really want to be doing. A lot of you have jobs that pay well, but it's not what you want. It's not authentic. It's not purpose-driven. A lot of you have not been honest. A lot of you have done what other people wanted you to do and other people thought you should do. And now here you are like, I ain't happy. This ain't it. This isn't the thing. So it's like starting over. But there's beauty in new beginnings. That was my email header for years on my email list. There's beauty in new beginnings. Give yourself permission to have a new beginning. Give yourself permission to have a do-over, to start over, to give everything over to God. Let's start from scratch. God, what we gonna do? Because this ain't working. This ain't working. There's got to be more to life than this. Beauty for ashes, love. Yes. Beauty for ashes. I'm a testimony. I am a walking, living, talking testimony that God gives you beauty for your ashes. If you will trust, if you will believe. Kim, finding your purpose, your passion is essential to the soul. Yes. Every single person on this earth has a deeper meaning to their life. It's up to you to follow it. It's up to you. Up to you. Anyway, I called this video one thing. We've just talked about quite a few different things today. But I'm going to keep being honest. I'm going to keep being authentic. I'm going to follow where God is leading me. I'm going to follow and I'm going to be obedient to Spirit. Madeline, how can we find our purpose? Follow the nudges. Follow the Holy Spirit. Start getting still enough that you can start hearing from God. And start following your true bliss. Stuff that feels amazing to you. Even when you don't know how to monetize it. Surrender. Yeah, crafted bird, surrender. You're welcome. One of God's girls. You're welcome, sweetheart. Anyway, I love you guys. Mwah. Blessings in abundance. Look forward to this project as soon as I get with these lawyers. Caramel Mocha Love. What if I don't feel any nudges? You're not getting still enough if you don't feel any nudges. Meditation. Changing my life. You guys know I'm a firm believer in meditation and getting still to get in alignment with God. Meditation, meditation. Study meditation, sweetheart. Begin to practice and study meditation. Okay? I love you, pretty Alexis. I love you, baby. Thank you for coming on the live and supporting your auntie. I love you to pieces. And I'm so proud of you. All right. Mwah. Blessings in abundance. I will talk to you guys soon. Make sure you sign up for healing class. The link is in my bio right now. The link's going to be on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe. Everybody's telling me all the time, the team. Subscribe. Follow. Make sure you follow and subscribe on YouTube and Facebook. Or not Facebook. YouTube and Instagram. Thank you for everything. You're welcome, love. Mwah. All right, guys. Blessings in abundance. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.